morning everyone. Welcome in my online classroom. First of all, I would like to thank our honorable principal, Professor Sir Jafar Ali sir, gives his permission and advices to conduct the online classes. I am Mohammad Sayyidul Associate Professor and Chairman, Tourism and Hospitality Management, Mohammadpur Kendriya College, Dhaka. Students, I hope you all are well. Because of the COVID-19 breakout in the pandemic situation of the world, we are bound to staying at home, but it does not mean we can sit idle. We have to work for our next days. So I am here to take your online class. I hope you all will give attention to my online class. Today I will take your online class on strategic management, BBA 4th year 7th semester. Now the question is being discussed below. And the first question, what is strategy implementation? And the second question, discuss the importance of strategy implementation. And the third question, discuss the problems of strategy implementation. And the last question, discuss the importance of strategic control. So the business study students have much more skill and scope from those sides. And the first question, what is strategy implementation? Implementation may be defined as the process of putting the strategy into practice with view to achieve the predetermined objectives, vision, mission, or goals of the organization. It is also known as the way of executing the formulated strategy for the accomplishment of set goals. A strategy is a plan of action designed to achieve a specific goal. Strategy implementation can be defined as a process through which a chosen strategy is put into action. In the general sense, strategy implementation is the activity performed according to a plan in order to achieve an overall goal. Strategic implementation is a key ingredient of modern business. Once an organization creates a strategy to meet its goals, implementation is the next step for successful execution. Miller and Dress define strategy implementation involve a broad range of effort aimed at transforming strategic intentions into action. So, strategy may be formulated properly, but if it is not properly implemented, it becomes a sheer waste of time, effort, and resource, and it does bring any optimum result for the organization. On the other hand, if the strategy is not properly crafted, the implementation phases may not effective and organizational purpose will not be attained. From finally, we can say that the implementation of policies and strategies is concerned with the design and management of systems to achieve the best integration of people, structure, process, and resource in reaching organizational purpose. And the next question, Importance of strategy implementation. That is important question in this chapter, and the importance is the first one, achievement of objectives. Achievement of objectives. And the second importance, utilization of money and efforts. Money and effort. And the next, identification of identification corrective action. Taking correcting measures. Measuring management efficiency. Management efficiency. That is the importance of strategic implementation in the first one. Achievement of objectives. Strategy implementation is important for the achievement of organizational objectives. Through the performance of implementation tasks, possibility of achieving the objectives comes into prominence. And the second point, utilization of money and effort. That is important in this question. Money and efforts. For the formulation of strategy, significant amount of money and efforts are invested. With the implementation function, this investment is justified. If you high investment and the high return of recovery and collected money, then the business activities very nicely and fine. Identification of taking corrective measures. That is important point in this question. Identification of corrective action. Implementation of strategy guides the strategic manager to initiate corrective measures. Proper corrective measures prohibit carelessness and implementations of effective strategy formulation and implementations. Measuring management efficiency. That is important in this point. Managerial officials can also be measured through the implementation procedures. Whether management activities at all levels have been performed properly or not, implementation helps the top management to measures. On the above points, importance of strategy implementation has been judged There could be many other points discussed, but brevity without or would be suffered. And implementation as the process of putting the strategy into practice with view to achieve the predetermined objectives, vision, mission, or goals of the organizations. And the next question, discuss the problems of strategy implementation. And the first point, insufficient partner buy-in. Insufficient partner buy-in. That is important problems in this question. Insufficient partner buy-in. And the second question or second point, insufficient leadership. And the third point, weak or inappropriate strategy. Weak or inappropriate strategy. Appropriate strategy. And the last point, resistant to change. Resistant to change. That is the problems of strategy implementation in the first point, insufficient partner buy-in. And the second point, insufficient leadership. And the third point, weak or inappropriate strategy. And the last point, resistance to change. That is the problems of strategy implementation. Insufficient partner buy-in. In conducting strategic planning, firm leaders and partners involved in the process develop a strong understanding of the business. However, partners removed from the process may struggle and identify with the goals and strategic outlined by firm's leaders. These partners may not see a need for change, and without understanding the background and rationale for the choice strategy, these partners may either buy in a strategic plan and as a result will actively interface with the implementing process. Because strategy implementation involves a broad range of effort aimed at transforming strategic goals, mission, vision, and the objectives. And the next problem, insufficient leadership attention. Too often, low firm leaders view the strategy development process as a linear or finite initiative. After undergoing a resource-intensive strategic planning process, the firm's managing partner and executive committee members may find themselves jumping back into work or impressing themselves in order to the matters. So, the plan or real action from the leaders to move forward with implementation. Properly implementation, then the business activities very fine or nicely and closely relationship between the workers, employee and management. And improper planning or implementing, then the business is collapse. And the next point, weak or inappropriate strategy. During the course of strategic planning is the lack of a realistic and honest assessment of the farm will lead to the development of a weak, inappropriate, or potentiality unachievable strategy. A weak strategy may also result from overall or unrealistic farm leaders or partners who adopt to the ill-fitting strategy with respect to the farm's current positions and market conditions without a viable strategy. So the properly taking action and effectively implementing the plan identified, and which are inappropriate strategy, then the hassle of the overall organizational and activities. And the next point, resistance to change. That is important problem in this question. The difficulty of driving significant change in an industry rooted on autonomy and individual lawyers' behaviors is not understood. More often than the executive and strategy requires adopting a change in appropriate, convincing member of the firm, and the particular partners that change in needed and in the chosen approach to the right one. By developing of these handles and traps which lead to failure in implementation, firms can learn how to adopt their approach and develop tools to assist them in more successful execution on the strategy. And the next question, importance of strategic control. That is the important question in this chapter of strategic control. There are different things in this question is important for the overall organizational activities and overall setting goals or objectives. That is importance of strategic control. And the first point is setting goals. Setting goals. And the second importance of strategic control and the point measuring performance. And the third point, analyzing variance. Analyzing variance. And the last point, strategic evaluation and corrective action. Evaluation and corrective action. That is the point in this question. Setting goals, measuring performance, analyzing variance, strategic evaluation, and corrective action. Setting goals. Strategic control is an important tool for assessing how well your business has performed. It is an important way to reflect on achievement and shortcoming, and is also useful for re-examining the goals themselves. Strategy control is significant management are discussed below. In the first point, setting goals. The actual control steps taken place in the end of the process after goals have been reached or not, or process of strategic control start in the beginning of the process with the step of setting the goals themselves. Goals are important because they give our company direction and a way to measure success and properly handling and predetermine objective, vision or goal of the organization. And the next point, measuring performance. Our goals provide us with criteria and benchmark, and the process of measuring our performance involves taking a step back in the assessment how effectively our company has achieved the goals. Measuring performance is an important step in the strategic control process. That is, strategy implementation involves a broad range of effort aimed to transforming strategic intentions into the action. And the next point, analyzing variance. Although goals are milestones, the process of reaching them there is not all nothing evaded. In addition of the simple measuring our outcomes relative to our goals, it is important as part of the strategic control process of analyzing how close we have come and properly analyzing the variance and findings and setting the objectives. And the next or last point, strategic evaluation and corrective action. It is our business falls for short or meeting its goals. The strategic control process is an opportunity to reflect on the why you has occurred and to them corrective action. If our company has blown the goal out of the water, the strategic control process is an important opportunity for us and create a new set of goals that will reflect our progress and challenge us in new ways. For the above discussion, we can say that at the end of my class, enjoy it. We pray for everyone Almighty. I am requesting you stay at home and be safe. Mission can be defined by where we and what we do.